What's up, guys? It's Chris for DAV1D on ECF TV and Aerovapor on YouTube. I don't know if you've noticed this, but slowly but surely, video by video, my camera's getting turned slightly a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. The reason for this would be that my wife is encroaching on my vaping den, and foot by foot, I am losing my location. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be in the closet. Soon I may be outside because I have nowhere left to go. It's either that or on the shitter because I'm losing my vape room. Like, it doesn't look bad from this shot, but I'm fucking surrounded by my wife's stuff. So let me get to the review really quick before I lose the little bit of space that I have. So what I have today is the E3. Now, if you remember, we had the E1, which I finally got a new one. Actually, I got a new few. The E1, the E2, and now the E3. I am going to take apart an E1 just to show you what the middle of an E3 looks like. I don't have an empty E3, so we're going to go with the E1. So when you... My Christ. You can untwist the bottom and the top, but for this purpose, the bottom. And the innards are replaceable. It has kind of like two wicks on it, a long wick and then a short wick. And what I've noticed in these, at least the ones that I have, are that, you motherless son of a bitch, that little wick is not inside of a coil. Now, at first I was taking the little wick out because I'm going to leave this apart before I fucking break it and smash it because I'm aggravated. So I was taking that little wick out because it really doesn't seem to serve any kind of purpose, but I actually think that there is a purpose after playing with the E3, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But anyway, the little rubber piece comes off, goes back on where it pushes against the wick and closes up the hole so it doesn't leak. And then the innard comes off and is completely replaceable. Now the next generation of this is actually going to have a screw-on innard. I don't know if the ones I got recently are revised, because the difference between this E1 and the other E1 that I reviewed is, one, the wicks are long, and two, there are washers on this version, which I did not have on the first version. So anyway, this isn't about the E1. I just wanted to show you how they come apart and look in the middle, because the E1 and the E3 are virtually identical as far as how it's built and how the innards come apart and what have you. The only difference is it looks more like a Stardust. It has lines, goes up to 2 mils, which if you see the 2 mil line is actually above the wick, while the old Stardust are 1.6 mils. Right now it's producing and performing very well. However, it took a lot to get to this point. My opinion, and I mean that's all these videos are, they're opinions. If any reviewer tells you it's not an opinion, except for the facts of devices, their voltages and stuff of that sort, everything else, it's an opinion. My opinion is they should have stopped at the E1 and not made anything else, because the E1 works really well. It produces great vapor, it has Great flavor, great throat hit. I don't have leaking issues. I don't really have any dry hit issues. The E1 works great. The E2, after that, we go to the E2, worked terribly for me. This one worked terribly for me. Dry hits all the time. There's no rhyme or reason to the dry hits and good hits no matter what you do to it. There's just no rhyme or reason to it. Then you have the E3. When I filled this thing up, it was leaking like a sieve. Actually, I shouldn't say it was leaking. It was flooding like crazy. Like crazy. Even now, if I tip this thing, you're going to see a shit ton of bubbles go to the wick and it's going to flood itself. But as the juice level goes down, it doesn't flood as much and it has a great vape. Hits like a train. Vape's great. But it's super temperamental. Like if you were to fill it up to the 2 mil line, which it has on there, so I'm assuming you're supposed to fill it up to the 2 mil line, it'll flood and gurgle and do all sorts of terrible things, and you'll get terrible vaping out of it because it's flooded, and you don't get a lot of vapor when it's flooded, as everybody knows. But as it gets down to the middle, it vapes great. It pulls the juice up perfectly. I can chain vape or I can not chain vape, and it vapes perfectly. Problem is, as soon as I tip this bastard upside down, it's going to flood again. And I know this because I've done it 100 times. Holy eyebrows. Why does this hat make my eyebrows look huge? They look like they're black. Holy shit. Wow. Alright. Oh my god. So like I said, you fill this thing to where its capacity is supposed to be and it floods. The problem with these CE2, E3, E1, E2, E3s, all these CE2-ish claromizers, they're inconsistent. So I can tell you that this one's flooding and it's not working well, and you get one and it'll work great. The E2, I thought it was terrible as far as how it performed for me. Other people thought it was terrible, and then some said it produced perfectly. The E1, I think it performs perfectly for me. Other people, it doesn't. They're not consistent. It's not like what a Bogue Cartomizer used to be, where you filled it up and you knew exactly what you were going to get every single time. Never failed. A Bogue would do you right. Now, I don't know what the hell's going on with quality control over there. They clog up way quicker. I mean, you used to be able to put one in a tank and use it for a week. Now, after 2 days, the thing's disgusting. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. I've already ranted about that. But these aren't like that. They're not as consistent. Like, you can get one that's great and one that's terrible. So, my opinion, and the one that I got, it's flooding like crazy. The one you get might not flood like crazy. My opinion, and what I plan on doing, is sticking with the E1. It works well for me, and that's what this is all about. Picking what works well for you. So if you're looking to do what I'm doing, which is find a Cartomizer that works well for me, because the Bogues have really taken a shit turn for the worse, then try these out. See what you think. I mean, you're not going to break your bank trying them. I think the E3s are like $7. The same with the E1s. The E2 is going to run you more. It's usually around $12 or so. Discount Vapors, which is where I got all these, is an incredible site. He does the best prices he possibly can. But the thing that's really great about him is that he will always give you his honest opinion about his products. He's not going to tell you it's great and it's really a piece of shit. He's going to tell you the truth. A lot of his products have his own reviews under the product information where he'll tell you, yeah, it's working great for me, or you know what, it's really not groundbreaking, or I'm not happy with the way it's working. I got so many and I'm selling through. Like, he's just honest. And that's the way it should be, because when you're honest like that with your customers, they're going to continue to come back because they know that they can trust you. And that's how it is with Discount Vapors. I know I can trust him. I'm so sad that I don't live next to him anymore. I used to be in Connecticut where he is located. And so if I ordered it today at 4 p.m., sure as shit, I would have my package tomorrow with the mail. Now it takes a little longer because I'm in Florida, but he still has super fast shipping, so a great, great site to order from. I recommend Discount Vapors to anyone and everyone. He is a one-stop shop, has every piece of hardware you could want, every cartomizer, and he always gets new stuff in. So, fuck it, why am I still vaping on this thing? E1 works perfectly for me. No dry hits, just a great vape. It's a great Clearomizer. It is a great CE2 style tank. It appears they're now coming with long wicks, but it doesn't matter. You can trim the wicks yourself if you want. I've tried the short wicked version and the long wick. It's working the same for me. But if you're looking to choose one or the other, the E1, the E2, or the E3, I would stick with the E1. Like I said, has been working flawlessly for me. Maybe I got one that's just shitty and not working well. Quality control is not great where these things come from, so it's very possible. It could work great for some people. For me, I can't really swear by this one, but I can swear by the E1 because I now have 4 of them, and they have yet to fail me. That's all I got for now. Make sure you tune in to TVN. I am on Wednesday nights, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with Lord Davin, and every Friday night with Jay Upstomp, who is an incredible juice vendor. If you have not tried his juice, make sure you do because it is great. And that show will be at 8 o'clock. I don't know what it's called, and that is going to be starting not this week, but next week. So make sure you go to stickem.com/TVN. Great network. You can get a shit ton of information. DIY shows. It's fun. You'll have giveaways on just about every show. So it's a great place for information and to kind of get yourself into the community, especially if you are a new vapor. So until then, I will see you guys later. Make sure you tune in like Saturday for my contest giveaway results, and I will see you guys on TVN.